How many of you have done a value clarification exercise before, or worked through identifying your values and finding what you found of value in your life before? So this is something that I've done multiple times in multiple different ways, in different places in school and in groups, and now I do it in my own way in therapy. I also have it as a part of my course because it can be really powerful and helpful and interesting. So it's on my mind again this week because I have a client doing it who's been really struggling with it, and I also decided to do it again for myself, and I was really interested in how different it was this time doing it than the last time I did it. Now at this point I've done it, I don't know, probably some sort of value exercise at least 10 times, maybe more. So the last time I did it before this time was at a retreat that I was helping run in Zion National Park. So it was a wellness retreat, and we mixed kind of therapy and meditation and yoga and hiking and all that kind of stuff. So we were doing a value clarification exercise as a group, and we passed out probably 40 little cards with different values on them, and then you had to narrow it down to your top 5. So we're all sitting there in a circle on the floor doing this exercise, and it's me and 2 other facilitators and then a bunch of people in the group as well. Well, everyone's getting done and I am not even anywhere near done. Like, everyone is just worked through it, did their own little thing. I'm just sitting there looking at, I narrowed it down to about 15 cards, and then I just couldn't narrow it further. So then I narrowed it down to 10, and each time I would like put one in the pile, I would like feel this like, but I want that one, I can't let go of that one. Almost like putting it aside was like saying I couldn't have it, which obviously isn't the case, but that's what I was experiencing in the moment, and I was having a really hard time focusing down to 5. So got to 10, eventually I just kind of ripped off the band-aid and went with my gut and chose my 5. And after we processed through that, and I'm huge into your process and what things look like for you can mean just as much as an exercise. So how long it takes you to do an exercise and what you struggle with, that gives you just as much or more information, I think, about what's going on than even the actual exercise sometimes. So of course I was interested in diving into that for myself as well, and processing with other people about how their experience was. So what I found at that time was that I was trying to do a million things, and I was spread really thin. My energy was pretty low because it was going to so many different places, and some of those places weren't actually my top values, but I felt like I had to do them, and some of them I did because I was working on a lot of things that I wanted to get done, so it was kind of like the struggle before the, the reward kind of thing. But I recognized that, and I said, okay, I have been spreading myself a little bit too thin, and I also recognize that this is sort of a grind phase, for lack of a better word. This is sort of a work phase, and once I get through this and meet these goals, then I can refocus even more on these other things. And that was really helpful for me to process through on my own, and it was also helpful for me to reaffirm for others that, hey, there's different seasons and there's different times, and you're not always going to be perfectly balanced in your values. So maybe you do have your top 5 values, and sometimes some will take more time and energy than others, and that's just what happens. It's not a perfectly balanced scale all the time. Sometimes work is going to take way more energy, even if family or love or relationships are top. Sometimes work is going to take more energy. Sometimes family is going to take more energy, and you don't have as much time for yourself. And that's normal, and that's natural, and that happens. So just recognizing that is important, and then also recognizing, okay, when I do have time and energy, I need to refocus back a little bit and make sure I get these things in as well, because these are important to me. So I found that to be true in that moment. And then this last time when I did this again, it was easy. It was really easy. I didn't take a lot of time. I just knew what my values were, and I did it, and it was fine, and it felt good, and it was pretty quick. And for me, what that shows is that now I'm living more in my values, and I'm more clear on what those are, and I'm more focused, so I'm not spread too thin. So I think that's kind of my experience on all of this stuff, and how I find it helpful in my own life. So if you want to work through one of these exercises, sign up on my list or send me an email and I will send you these. I'm going to send out one of the exercises and this video to my list. So if you go to my website, you can sign up and be on my list and get all of that and try these out and see what you think. And remember, like, this isn't a one-time thing. It's not like we identify our values and we fix it and we're good. It's a continual thing, and it will change and move over time. But it's really cool to check in with yourself on this stuff. Even like once a year, I think it's cool to see how your values change and where you're putting your energy. And if you feel really solid, what that looks like. If you feel really off, what that looks like. And if you do feel really off, then you can recognize, hey, I'm not meeting my values in these ways, and I'm putting all my time and energy into things that aren't really that important for me. So spend some time, look at that. Feel free again to email me if you want the exercise, and see what you think.